Hi guys, what's up? It's Joel Pitt here, back with another video, and in this video it'll be for Love Island All Stars 2026 Series 3 Episode 32. I'll leave a link down below to Episode 31, which is the fourth unseen bits of this series. Of course, it's going to be spoilers, so without further ado, let's get on with it. So, Zach, I think in the morning, made Millie some toast. Tommy and Sean spoke about, their situations that was going on. Lucinda was hurt by Jessie, who was gunning for her. She spoke to Helena and Millie about it. Carrington was saying to Harrison and Yeaman, his focus is now on Helena. Scott, Zach and Kieran spoke. Scott was saying, his opinions don't matter to him now. Whitney and Leanne spoke, but Leanne was saying, they didn't lips in bed. I'm not sure why. Millie and Jessie spoke, saying, Lucinda feels attacked. Leanne said to Lucinda that she's sorry. Then the boys got a text. Well, there was a text in the villa, and it was saying the boys were going to be leaving to play football. Then when the girls were away, they got a text, and they were getting the video calls from home. Scott and Harrison were captains. They know the most about football. Scott was choosing first. He won rock, paper, scissors, so he went for Sean. Then Harrison went for Carrington. Scott went for Tommy. Then Harrison then went for Kieran. And then Scott went for Yeaman, which left Zach last on Harrison's team. I don't know who won the game in the end. I don't think they kept score. So Belle's dad was up first, Tamer Hassan. Then her mum came along with the dogs, and then he was just saying, sleep, don't be kissing in bed or something, and don't repeat that heart rate challenge thing. Then we had Millie's friend Chloe Burrows, so she was like a bombshell, I think, on her series. Then we had Leanne's BFF Kaz Kamwe, who I think was also on her series as well, like the same series as Leanne. Then we had Sammy's friend, Sophie Piper, who I think was on the All Stars Season 1. And then we had Josh, who I think they're still together as well. Sammy's nan is happy, Sophie was saying, because Kieran's Welsh. Then we had Matthew, who was Jessie's dad. Jessie was crying. And then I think Belle was I can't take it. She walked off. Then we had Whitney's sister, Lizzie. Then Helena's mate, Meg Moore, who was on her season last year. And then I think she's still with Dejan, I'm not too sure, but there hasn't been anything to say that they're not together, I'm not too sure. Then we had Lucinda's mate, Cameron, but that was a girl. Sean and Lucinda spoke. The boys came back, and then Sean and Lucinda spoke about the video calls, and then pretty much everyone else was talking about, what happened. Jessie and Tommy spoke, basically talking about Lucinda, I think. And then I think she was saying, she likes how mature that Tommy is and how he's dealing with it, and it's grown to like him more. Belle and Helena told of the video calls as well. Sammy and Kieran spoke. Then Leanne and Scott spoke. Yeaman and Whitney spoke. And then Zach and Millie spoke. The dad has given the seal of approval, and he was saying, it's the sort of person Zach he could go to the pub with for a pint. Tommy has been the only person to cheer Jessie up. Then he went in for a kiss. That was their first kiss, I think, out the side of the challenge as well. They told of the kiss to the other boys and girls. Kieran and Sammy kissed in bed. Then we had Helena and Carrington kiss. Jessie was resting on Tommy's chest. Zach and Millie kissed. Whitney and Yeaman kissed. Belle and Harrison kissed. Leanne and Scott kissed. And then I think Scott was on Leanne, and then Lucinda and Sean maybe kissing, but then it was just the covers that were shown, so I don't know exactly what happened. Then there was a vote for your favourite couple, and it will be revealed later in the week on the app. Sean says Lucinda wants there to be no more friction with the girls. What do you predict? 50% said they'll agree to disagree and move on. 18% said huge drama ahead, 17% said frosty vibes incoming, and 15% said they'll all kiss and make up. This is for all you speculating what happened between Jessie and Lucinda before this. There's a video. Lucinda reveals her history with Jessie. How does Yemen describe the secret garden double date to Carrington? Dumb. Millie is in Lucinda's corner. There's a video. Millie calls out Jessie's judgmental comments. Leanne and Lucinda are so back as besties. There's a photo saying, "You did have my back and you've been there for me throughout the whole thing. I'm sorry." What's your ideal day out with your mates? Going from the top, 13% said play sports, 31% shopping spree, 19% a beach day, 15% dinner out, 5% theatre trip, 3% movie day, 2% arts and crafts, and then 12% a trip to the spa. What did Lucinda think DMC stood for? Deep motivational conversation instead of a deep meaningful chat. You're in the villa and you get a video call from home. Who would you most want to see? 51% said my parents, 24% said my bestie, 14% said my pet, and then 11% said my sibling. What did Chloe Burrows say she framed in her and Millie's kitchen? It was a picture of Millie snogging Curtis. Keep standing up for yourself. It's a safe space for you to just be you. Former Islander Kaz Kamwe gives advice to bestie Leanne. Jessie is left in tears after her dad tells her his honest opinion. There's a video. Jessie's dad gives brutal feedback on Lucinda drama. It's given, I don't even know. That's a first. Alert, Whitney has run out of charge. What phrase did Whitney say when speaking about how much he likes Yemen? Amen for Yemen. And then we had Meg saying, "This is your Love Island experience. You've always wished for a sweet message for Helena." How does Lucinda's friend Cameron describe Sean? It's Cameron with a K, not with a C. The male version of Lucinda, it was. Remembering this for when I next have anxiety. When you get stressed out in situations in the villa, is it really a big deal? Because we're a little rock in a floating space with millions of other Earths out there. It's not even a big deal, so why are you getting upset? And then that was when Tommy kissed Jessie, I think. There's a photo of that. What's been your fave iconic quote from today's episode? Well, 35% said, "When you snog Curtis, it's framed in the kitchen." 22% said, "It's given, I don't even know." That's a first. 20% said, "We're a little rock in a floating space." 15% said, "Live, love, charge it." And 8% said, "Deep motivational conversation." Scott reassures Leanne he will not be sliding into Belle's DM. There's a video when a girl thinks your man wants her instead. And then in the morning after, Jessie is given some home truths. Tap for Amy, India, Ali and G's thoughts as they unpack last night's episode. But anyway, that is all for this video. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next one.